Hello ladies and gentlemen, Nick here, and welcome to my review of Captain America Civil War Blu-ray. I am doing this review because I didn't see Captain America Civil War at the cinema last year, which is a big disappointment because I wanted to, but when I got the time, it wasn't showing for some reason. I don't know why. It's only been just over a month since it came out. So, and some films have been in cinemas longer than a month. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them was in for about 2 months or so. Same cinema. Moana for nearly 2 months. So I don't know what's going on. Or at least what went on. And I didn't see it earlier because I was busy with my final project, The Effects of Wood, which I will link below. It's for college, and I'm going to be quite busy this May on the next final project for college, but I will hopefully see more films towards the end of that month, and in June, as the film I want to see for my birthday. Last year it was X-Men Apocalypse, this year it's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, so hopefully I'll see that, and then all the other ones that look interesting are coming out either before then, so maybe 1 or 2 I might catch, or after my birthday, which is towards the end of the project being finished, and around half-termish, so hopefully, fingers crossed, I might get to see Pirates of the Caribbean 5 and Alien Covenant, which the latter of which might actually become my first 18-rated film I see, not just at the cinema, depending if I see any before or between birthday and Covenant viewing. That one's coming out before Pirates, so it'd probably be wiser to see that first, but Pirates is the one I actually prefer to see first. And later in June, Wonder Woman will come out, and then we've got a great summer coming up, but I look to be quite busy in my spare time, just as much as my college life, and that would include cinema, film reviews, etc. But for now, at least, we can cool down. This is the calm before the storm, or at least in some parts of life, at least. In other parts, the storm has just started. So, yeah, I did get this on Blu-ray in December, at the end of December, just after Christmas, along with Star Trek Beyond, which I'd also missed at the cinema, X-Men Apocalypse, and, well, I did want to get Suicide Squad, but it wasn't at Sainsbury's, so I had to have it ordered from Amazon. But I also got Jason Bourne on DVD. And I got a few others from CEX a few days later, so yeah. So, Captain America Civil War. I watched this last week, and I also watched the trailers. I've been really looking forward to watching this one, because this has been the most critically praised of, or with one of the most critically praised of the 2016 films. It was the highest grossing of the 2016 films. Let's hope I can contribute to the highest grossing film of 2017, like I did in 2013 and not 14-15, with Frozen and Star Wars Episode 7. And I've seen Avengers, but I didn't see it at the cinema in 2012. Oh, I contributed to Deathly Hallows Part 2 in 2011. Last Harry Potter, that was great. So, yeah, 2017, what do you think it will be? I think it'll be Last Jedi, or yeah, I think it's going to be Star Wars Last Jedi, but we'll see. Rogue One obviously wasn't the highest grossing film of last year, that still went to Civil War, so who knows what this year could have been. 2015 it was Jurassic World, surprisingly, instead of Avengers Age of Ultron or Spectre. Oh god, let's hope Bond gives another higher grossing film when the next one comes out. Almost got the 2012 one if it wasn't for Avengers. So, Civil War. Okay, Civil War. This one's going to be a tricky one to talk about because I'm kind of hot and cold on it. I see both sides of the argument, and I agree and disagree with sides from both sides. But the way the characters act throughout the film, especially Tony Stark, and more so, what's his name? Colonel Dickhead, as I call him. what was it? He was the father of Bruce Banner's girlfriend in The Incredible Hulk. Colonel Ross, or General Ross, whatever. Yeah, there's some really characters that, or at least for me, can get annoying with just being really stupid, especially General Ross. But then again, he did that in Incredible Hulk anyway, and even to a worse effect. Which is probably one of the reasons why I'm not so keen on Incredible Hulk as most people. I think it's better than For the Dark World and Iron Man 2, but maybe a rewatch might make me like it more than 4-1. But I would probably put all the other films by this point up to Doctor Strange. I've now seen all the MCU films. I'd probably put all the others minus Iron Man 2 and 4-2 above Incredible Hulk. But then again, like I said, I'd probably have to rewatch 4-1 and quite a few of the others. But yeah, Civil War's a pretty great film. The story's pretty great. It's just that the characters, depending on what they're doing, what they're saying, it can go left and right from whether you agree or disagree with them. Personally, I see both sides of the argument, and both sides have good and not so good stuff to say and do. But the characters themselves are pretty great. They all have great motives. It's not like Batman and Superman where they just like, Batman's just like, Superman's a threat. I hate him automatically, even if it's only just a 1% chance he may be our enemy. And Superman's like, this Bat Vigilante is just doing stuff on his own, working outside the law. It makes sense, those motives, but it's also, you can see the two sides, but it's not enough to make them want to fight each other, or at least unless they got each other angry. In this film, the characters on the separate sides eventually progress into them wanting to have a fight because they are getting annoyed with each other. And even to a point, there's even a point where Tony Stark, Iron Man, actually starts realising there's an actual bigger villain behind this. So yeah, like Batman v Superman, there's actually a villain behind the fighting, but he's taking more of a back seat, just making sure that they fight. Sorry, I'm just trying to sort my bed out. He's taking a back seat, trying to engineer the fighting to happen, but the main conflict isn't with him. It's in Batman v Superman. It was between Batman and Superman, and later with Batman, Superman, and eventually Wonder Woman fighting Doomsday. In this one, it's basically just the Marvel heroes fighting each other, and yeah, it's just the heroes fighting each other. At no point do they actually fight the actual villain himself. Well, the closest we get is new character Black Panther actually stopping him from committing suicide when he thinks he's won. That's probably the most conflict they've had. So that's actually a good transition to move on to new characters. We've got some new characters as well as some characters recently introduced to this series. As mentioned, Black Panther, or I can't remember his name, not Black Panther, the character, his alter ego. He's a king after his father was killed in a assassination that the villain, who disguised himself to look like Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes, did. So he's now become the king, and he's become the Black Panther in order to catch Bucky, or kill him, and eventually later he joins not Captain America, Iron Man's team, and then after that he's realised it wasn't Bucky who had killed his father, it was the villain, and he ends up helping Captain America and Winter Soldier at the post-credit scene. In the post-credit scene, I mean. well, not post-credit scene, mid-credit scene. There's another post-credit scene involving another new character later on, or hinting to their solo movie. The other new character, aside from the villain, is Spider-Man, played by Tom Holland, Peter Parker Spider-Man, who, in his third incarnation of 21st century live-action films, from first glance, he's probably the weakest at the moment, but it's only his first film and he wasn't in it that much. So we'll see what he's like in Spider-Man Homecoming later this year. And who knows, I don't know if he'll be the best Peter Parker Spider-Man, but he could certainly have the better adventures to Amazing Spider-Man, certainly, and maybe... Well, I prefer Spider-Man 3 over Spider-Man 2 from the original trilogy, but the best is still the first. So, it's just my opinions. If we can agree to disagree, just know it's my opinions, and I will respect yours if you respect mine. And who knows, Spider-Man Homecoming could be the best Spider-Man film yet. We'll see then. Same for the Marvel Universe. My current favourite Marvel film is the first Avengers, but we could see if any Infinity War, for example, could be better. And also we've got Ant-Man, or Scott Lang, in this film. He was introduced in his own solo film, which was the one beforehand, but he's now joined the Avengers in this film. If Captain Marvel, who's going to be starring in her own spin-off film in 2018, is going to be in the first of the Infinity War films, maybe both of the Infinity War films if Captain Marvel 1 comes out... no, it comes out before Avengers 4. If she's in Infinity War, then that's probably going to be her introduction, similar to Spider-Man and Black Panther in this one. However, if she's going to be in Avengers 4 but not number 3, then it's going to be like Ant-Man and Doctor Strange, where she'll join in a bit later on. Oh, and Guardians of the Galaxy, who are having 2 films before they meet up with the Avengers. And that's really everything for new characters, so we're introducing one. Returning characters, we got Captain America, Steve Rogers, Iron Man, Tony Stark, Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff, Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, the Falcon, Sam Wilson, Iron Patriot, or Iron Patriot or War Machine. What was his name? James Rhodes. Hawkeye, Clint Bartwood. I'm just going through a couple of the characters in this film. Vision and Scarlet Witch. What's his name? Wanda Maximoff. I think that's all of them, as well as General Ross. And a few other people turn up. Aunt May makes an appearance. And I'm trying to remember if anyone else was in it. Pepper Potts is mentioned, but she doesn't appear in it. I think that's pretty much it. Hank Pym also gets a mention, and Martin Freeman makes an appearance as a character, which is probably why his hair's white in Sherlock. It looks quite white in this one. And these characters have quite a lot to go through. Each have their own motive, or opinion, or deciding factor. For one reason or another, they will join one or the other team. In the case of Scarlet Witch, for example, she feels like she's being kept at the facility for although in Iron Man and Vision's case, it's to protect her and also to protect the people outside, but she feels like she's being trapped. So when Hawkeye comes along to collect her, she goes with him gladly and actually pushes Vision down underground for a bit with her powers. Similarly, Spider-Man wants to impress Tony Stark, who is offering him a job, and Black Panther wants revenge for the death of his father, and Captain America wants to clear his friend's name and actually make sure he's okay. Iron Man. Well, later on in the film, it's revealed that, spoiler alert, Bucky Barnes was Iron Man's, Tony Stark's parents' killer. So at that point, after Tony's kind of helping Steve and Bucky capture the villain, and when he finds this out, he just goes back to being on the opposite side of them. Instead of helping them, he starts fighting them. He attempts to kill Bucky and he fights Steve. So, eventually, there is no reconsideration with the characters. Face to face, at least. There is a letter Captain America sends Iron Man at the end, but face to face, it ends on a bad note between the characters. And it also shows that Iron Man would rather get revenge than capture a villain. Thank goodness we have Black Panther around. Which is understandable, naturally, but in the end, it just feels like he doesn't really care anymore. Which might actually lead to the pointlessness of the legislation, come to think of it. Yeah, this film, when you come to think of it, it kind of also a little bit pointless. Well, actually, no, it's very pointful. You see why the problem is. It's very hot and cold. There's bits you like about it. It's like when Tony and Steve are working together and then, "You killed my mom! I'm gonna kill you! I don't care if you're sorry or not. I don't care if there's a major villain there. Ah! Understandable, yes, but... oh, God. Worst bit is Black Panther doesn't actually come in and try and stop them. He does capture the villain, but he doesn't try and stop the fighting. He's like, Tony, wait. Or, Steve, let it go. Or something. He does eventually help Steve and Bucky in the mid-credits scene, but... yeah, it's just the problem. So that's just a few opinions of Captain America Civil War. I like this picture for the Blu-ray. We're going back to the Blu-ray now. This review's getting long. The artwork is nice. It's got nice pictures on the back. And that actually does kind of represent the bat fighting a bit closer. Yeah. There's a couple of great extras and featurettes that are very good as well. Discard. Now, as I've mentioned in my Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice Blu-ray review, the Marvel discs are, well, for DVD they're either grey or for Blu-ray blue. There's not much to them, it's just basically the logo, the title, logo, certification, and a blue background. It's very little interesting. It's nice in a Blu-ray, I suppose, a blue disc, but towards the end, it's not that great. At least Batman v Superman's one was white writing. This one is kind of more of a silver, it's harder to read. And it's actually boringer. I mean, on the first time I got it, it was actually quite nice. But the more I look at it, and also the Blu-rays for Winter Soldier and Ant-Man, I think those are the only three Marvel Blu-rays I've got at the moment. I hope to get Guardians of the Galaxy, Doctor Strange on Blu-ray, and the first Captain America, First Avenger. The rest would be DVD of the ones I have and the ones I want to get. Guardians 2 will be whatever Guardians 1 will be. That one might be a DVD. If it's a DVD, Guardians 2 will be. If it's a Blu-ray, Guardians 2 will be Blu-ray. 4-3 will be DVD. Spider-Man Homecoming will be Blu-ray because I got the other 5 Spider-Mans on Blu-ray, so just keep it tradition. And it's also to stock up on the Blu-ray collection in the Marvel film collection. Whilst DC, it's all Blu-ray at the moment. Same for X-Men. and other franchises like Star Wars and Bond are DVD and or Blu-ray. We could have bits of both, considering doing that for Harry Potter with Fantastic Beasts, but I'm not certain just yet. Jason Bourne is just DVD at the moment. Star Trek, it's just Blu-ray, although we also have a DVD of it as well. The first film as well. And I would like to get the other films on Blu-ray, maybe at some point. So, yeah, you're probably bored of me rambling about DVD and Blu-rays, and bored of looking at this picture. This is a much better picture. Look at the cover. Lovely cover. It's a nice cover. I do not have a slipcase version, and to be honest, I wouldn't know which one to get, because maybe Captain America, because blue, and he's trying to catch the villain, whilst Tony Stark is just getting in the way at points. So, yeah, I'd probably go with Captain America if I had the slipcase choice, but to be honest, most people, like myself and Troby, probably wouldn't be able to decide. So, and also, like I said, I got this in December, and this came out here on Blu-ray at least about September, October. Late September, that's what it was. So, like Batman v Superman, and also Deadpool now, if it's been out for a while, it probably won't have a slipcase. Jason Bourne DVD I got didn't have a slipcase, and yet at Waitrose they had it without one. With one, I mean. I think Star Trek Beyond, they got one without one, but I think at some places it did have. I think CX had a copy that did have one. I'm not certain. So those two had been out for a fairly shorter time. Jason Bourne certainly shorter time than Star Trek. Not Star Trek Beyond. I think those two had a similar time, and same for Suicide Squad, but that one I managed to get with a slipcase from Amazon. They had a shorter time out than Civil War, but Sainsbury's copies didn't have them. But that's more for Sainsbury's issue than a manufacturer one. Same with this one, and my VVS copy, which keeps jabbing into my back every time I sit down. So, let's get on to scores. I would give the film a 9 out of 10 because it's a great film, but the story's pretty great. The conflict between the characters, I don't. There's just points where they get a bit on my nerves. Both characters, especially Tony's side. It's probably because I know there's a main villain. They're just like, oh, I don't care. He did it. I hope they work together again back when it comes to Infinity War. I don't like to see characters who should be working together fighting. It worked okay for the first Avengers film because they'd only just met. And for Batman v Superman, well, they hadn't just met, but they were about to team up fight later on. That was early in its stage. Civil War is just a bump in the road before they have to all join forces again, and they're going to realise they were idiots for fighting each other. But then again, that's what they did in Batman v Superman. However, that one wasn't quite as effective character-wise, and story wasn't that great. So, you know what, there isn't really that much of a difference. Generally, to be honest, there isn't really that much of a difference. Is 2016 just the year of superheroes fighting each other? No wonder we needed a Deadpool or a Doctor Strange thrown in there. Heck, even X-Men Apocalypse put a bit more spice into it, and Suicide Squad, come to mention it. Batman v Superman and Civil War seem to be... Well, you see one, you see the other, actually, now I come to think of it, because they both have sides you agree with, they have sides you don't. They have a background character supporting them, not supporting them, engineering the fight. Eventually, they're the ones who get in captive, and one or the other either goes into hiding or is dead. And then, if they come back or are brought back to life, then they will join forces for the next movie, or the next movie they appear together. In this one's case, it will be Infinity War. In BVS's case, it will be Justice League. So, yeah, they're quite similar to each other. So, I would still give the film a 9 out of 10, but it's just for story and everything else. But really, the character conflict does get me a bit annoyed. It is certainly they definitely have better motivations and a bit more of an understandable argument than BVS. but it's a bit more aggravating, for me at least. Extras are great, I give them an 8 out of 10. The cover is nice, I give that an 8 as well. There is no leaflets, and mine does not come with a slipcase, so it's going to be out of 30 for this score, so that's... Is that 3 8s? No, 9 and 8. 9 and 3 8s. It's 9 and 2 8s, I mean. 16... That's a 27. Is it? 16 and 9. 25. Okay, this Captain America Civil War Blu-ray is 25 out of 30. So... Oh, I didn't do my ones out of 10 overall for the BBS one, so I'll get rid of that. So that will probably be about 8.5 to 9 out of 10. For overall, if out of 10, it'd be about 8.5 or 9 out of 10. But out of 30, it's 25. For BVS, I gave that 35 out of 50, which would probably be a 7 or 8. I'll go with 7. And yes, 7 out of 10 for that one. So yes, this is certainly if you want to see this, if you like this film, you want to see it, or if you like the universe, the characters, etc., get this one. It's got a couple of extras, they're quite nice. You won't get any on the DVD, and if you do, there's only 1 or 2. I don't think there is, to be honest. Maybe the Doctor Strange preview, I don't know. But... yeah, this is certainly a great Blu-ray. Pick it up. Pick both this and BVS up if you want. They're pretty much similar to each other anyway. This one's almost as long as Batman v Superman anyway. The theatrical cut at least. So, yeah, they're just very similar to me. Of course, the stories are different, but yeah, I think it's time, now that both DC and Marvel have had their superhero fighting each other movie, it's time to move on. 2017 is going to be more of a solo outing for Marvel before the big team up next year, whilst this year they're going to do the solo outing for Wonder Woman before doing the team up later in the year for Justice League for DC. So yeah, it's a good job of moving on now, because I don't think another superhero fighting movie is needed at least until next decade, because otherwise it's going to be less interesting. This one still a great story, but it has its problems for me, and Batman v Superman, the same, except the story's not as good. But somehow I didn't get as aggravated with it, and actually praised the extended edition more, even though there's more in it. If you see my Blu-ray review of that, you'll understand. So, before this gets really long and tedious, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. But then again, he's one of the reasons. Yeah, it can go left and right from whether you agree or disagree. You fucking thing. Which is one of the some people. Yeah, get yourself together, man. Oh, and what's his? Hank Pym also gets a mention, and I'm trying to remember Martin Freeman gets an appearance. Hank Pym, which might have an entire pointless heck, even X-Men Apocalypse had better motivations.